Right then, lesson 2 on owl babies. And actually, this is our last lesson on owl babies before we move on to some non-fiction work for the rest of the week. Now, we were so impressed by your work on the Grandad's Secret Giant with your role play that we'd like to give you another chance to do something similar this week. Now, you'll notice I don't have my owl costume on. I'm afraid I don't have an owl costume. But what we'd like you to do is, again, to focus on thinking of some really good questions. This time, the questions will be from Percy, Sarah, and Bill for Mum when she gets back from her wherever she's been. So you'll want to have a think about that. Think, where has the owl been, Mummy Owl, during the story? Because obviously she's been out at night and now she's come back to see her children. So what we'd like you to do for this lesson is you will be thinking of questions and answers. And you can definitely do some role play with people at home if you want to have someone in your family acting out the role of mum and someone in the family acting out the role of one of the children, one of the baby owls. But we'd also like you to write them down this week. So certainly if you didn't write them down last week, this will be a chance for you to write some lovely question sentences. Now, some of the questions that the children might ask, those owl babies might ask Mum, would be, where have you been? What have you been doing? Are you going to go out again tomorrow? Did you catch us any food? Can we come with you next time? Have a think about the things that Sarah says might be happening in the story. So she might be catching mice and other things nice. Perhaps she got caught by a fox or another wild animal. So you might want to ask some questions to Mummy Owl about that. Excuse me. And of course, added to that, we would like you to think of some answers. So perhaps you might have a little bit of a tale to tell for Mummy Owl about escaping a fox or chasing down a mouse for dinner. So have a look at some of these question words you might like to use. And I haven't put what on there, but that's definitely a question word we might use. Let's write that on there as well. And to think of those questions and underneath them to see if you can come up with an answer for them. So again, you're putting yourself in from a character's different point of view, putting yourself in their head, using clues from the story. We call this sort of inference and deduction, to think about what the animal might have been and what things that she might have seen on her journey, and also what the owl babies want to know. Of course, they're not going to want to want this to happen again, or they're going to want to know where she's going or when she's going to go out hunting in the future. Now, obviously, when you write a question, there's a few things you need to remember. It must start with a question word, and here are some of them. It also must start with a capital letter, and the end of your question must have a question mark on it. And any replies from Mummy Owl should also start with a capital letter and could end with a full stop or an exclamation mark. So another question and answers lesson, but this time we definitely want you to get it written down. But of course, if you do happen to have an owl costume in your house, or you want to make an owl hat or an owl mask or anything like that, then we would love to see some pictures of you doing that with your family or anybody at home. And we will try and share them on our virtual assemblies if you email them in to us. So, questions, answers from the owl babies to their owl mother. Off you go.